Hello, my name is Rebecca Rambo, and for Module 2, I chose to do the individual differences presentation instead of the essay. So here is my individual differences presentation. So the first question we were asked to look at is, how am I unique as a learner? So some of the items that make me unique as a learner is that I understand the different ways to study. Growing up, I learned this quickly, that I couldn't just look at something once, read it over, and call it a done deal, that I really had to work at learning how to study. And I think that's definitely shaped me as a learner. So I needed to learn a unique way to study. I needed repetition. I couldn't just cram everything in the night before. And I needed to be able to relate to it. So I needed that hard evidence and understanding different examples, especially when I got into high school and understanding like science and everything. I really needed to understand the different examples. I needed to work for my grades and to understand the material that was being present. I was definitely one in the class that always had a question, just so that I could understand and clarify any misconceptions that I would have. I enjoyed learning, and I was focused on new learning and learning new things. I definitely I like to be prepared. So knowing ahead of time when items are due so that I can prepare myself for the best outcome. And then also another key item that helped me as a learner was relationships with my teachers or instructors was very important to me, especially since they are the ones that I would go to when I was struggling or needed help. So having that good teacher-student relationship definitely helped shape me as a learner. So looking at myself, characteristics that describe me as a learner, but then also as an educator as well. These items have a lot of similarities. So being able to be flexible, adaptable, compassionate, empathetic, positive, the ability to collaborate and be collaborative, being patient, creative, and also personable. So I found these describe me as a learner, but then also as an educator. Teaching special ed and teaching the grades that I do, I definitely need to be flexible and adaptable to what I'm teaching and how I decide to teach my lessons, since all of my students learn differently. And also another key item that I really need to do and be as a special education teacher is being able to collaborate with my peers and my fellow teachers. I meet daily with my special ed team and also with the regular education teachers that I service. Collaborating daily with them allows our students that we share to have the best possible outcome in their reg ed classes. And I think that is definitely important, as well as being patient, especially with the younger students and students that struggle with a learning disability. Being patient is very important. And when I was a student, being patient with me to getting to understand concepts, I really appreciated all the teachers that worked with me when I had lots of questions as a child. Others responding to my unique characteristics. So there's definitely some positives as well as some negatives out there. So positives, tools for being successful, teachers that would give me positive reinforcement and positive correction as well if I got something wrong, explaining why and how I got something wrong definitely helped me as a person and understanding to grow. Learning new strategies for learning and not to have any fear when taking chances or asking questions. Some negative characteristics that I remember when I was younger and as a child that affected my unique characteristics. Seen and not heard. I went to Catholic school growing up, and my third grade teacher, I loved to talk. I said good morning every day. I really wanted that teacher-student positive relationship. And I remember my parents asking my teachers, how is she? And my one third grade teacher responding, well, I believe that children should be seen and not heard. And that was kind of like, oh, okay. So not everyone wants that unique connection with their students. When I have a teacher that sometimes may not provide me with feedback when I make mistakes, that's always been challenging for me. How do I improve if I don't have any of that feedback? As well as not connecting with the staff, and then there seems to be like no buy-in for that class. So making sure that I'm taking classes or building the connections with my professors is also very important in how I perform within a class. Now, obviously, as I've gotten older and started doing more online learning, it's definitely different, but I know those skills are still there, and I have that being able to connect with my professors or other students, in discussions. And the last item I have is how to be successful in online classrooms. So my first experience with being in an online classroom, other than me taking courses at Millersville, but as an online teacher, was during the pandemic. That was my first experience with online learning, and I was glad that when COVID hit, that I had at least one class under my belt in the area of online learning. So items that I think are going to be successful to help my online classroom if I am ever in that position again would definitely be to build relationships with students and parents. I do a very good job of this when I am in person or face-to-face, but also transferring that over to when or if I'm ever an online teacher again, making sure I'm building those relationships and kind of understanding how to do that in a digital setting. Setting up clear and explicit expectations and communication practices with students and families is also a very important item to have. Being flexible and understanding students' needs and capabilities. Providing students with diverse options and activities. I know all learners are different and not everyone learns the same way. So providing options and different types of activities for students to show that they understand the content. Also to still provide higher learning even when online. So I know in my classroom in a face-to-face setting, we always do some sort of extension, but also finding ways to do extensions and project-based learning even when you are at home. When you are in an online classroom, it might be hard to do a model per se that a student would bring into the classroom, but finding other ways to do stuff like that when you are still virtual. And then also expanding students' knowledge in multiple areas, such as technology, academics, social norms, online etiquette, which is very important, especially in this day and age with students having so much access to technology. And then also communication as well. I feel with being able to do these efficiently and effectively that I will be able to succeed in an online classroom. Thank you for getting to know a little bit about Rebecca Rambo. Have a great day. Bye.